what is the last planner system? We're going to answer that in this video. If you've been around construction recently or learning about the term lean, you've probably heard about the last planner system. And in this video, we're hoping that you leave with a high-level understanding of what it is. So we're going to explain, what is a last planner? Where does that term come from? Why is it important, and why was it created as a system? And what are the 5 specific tools that you can use to get started? And we're going to explain the 4 things that you can do tomorrow to start using this system in the field. So by the end of this video, again, I want you to understand at a high level what the last planner system is. So what is the last planner system? I'm going to put it into my words. So the last planner system is a collaborative planning system where we engage the last planners to not only communicate and collaborate, but also to commit, meaning they weigh in and buy in to scheduling activities, so that we have more reliable promises in our short interval scheduling. These environments listen to the experts that are boots on the ground. And it's essentially a way to create a culture where we're working as an integrated team. And this system works through a series of schedule formats, again, so the team can see as a group, know as a group, and act as a group. And at the end of that system, we're able to measure what promises were kept, which ones weren't, and we're able to analyze the root cause and then make corrections within our system. So that's the high-level definition, the way I understand it. So I have been very successful with this system, especially when we merge tact planning with the last planner system structure. So let me go ahead and explain that right now. So if you get the opportunity to take training on this and to get into the details, please do it. I'll also leave you a reference, The Lean Builder by Joe Donnarumma and Keon Zandi. Absolutely fantastic book. They have amazing content on their blog. We're contributors to that blog. It's absolutely fantastic. So let me give you the different components right now. So in the last planner system, and this is predicated or based upon a team of foremen and superintendents working inside of a system as a collaborative unit. So I told you I would tell you what the word last planner means. It's the last person in the planning cycle, and the foreman and sometimes the superintendent are that last planner. So it's the last supervisor, could be the lead person, the foreman, the superintendent. It's the person boots on the ground that's going to lead that crew, the last person in the planning cycle. So last planners are those people that are boots on the ground that really can add a lot of wisdom and validity to our plan. So this is predicated on or based on the superintendent and the foreman working together in a collaborative and safe, and I will say psychologically safe environment. So the first part of the system is the master schedule. So the master schedule has a very specific purpose. The master schedule is here to identify a total overall project duration, okay, and to identify milestones in between. That's the purpose of the master schedule. There are 2 ways to do this. One is with CPM, the other one is with tact planning. I will choose tact planning every time over CPM. That's my personal preference. It's proven to work. We also have videos that can explain why. But for now, I'll say that both of those methods are commonly used as the master schedule. The second part of the process is the pull plan. So the pull plan, this is where you work with the last planners, again in a collaborative environment, and you grab one of these milestones. So let's grab one of these milestones right here, and using stickies you create a sequence backwards with your trade partners that enables you to know that you have everything that you need to make each of these activities ready, and that you have a proper sequence. So the main purpose for the pull plan is to make sure you have the right sequence. Once you have the right sequence, that sequence is either looped back into the master schedule, kept on a separate format, or it's looped into other short interval formats for the schedule. The third part are your look aheads. And so I like to do a 6-week make ready look ahead. And this look ahead basically will, and I'll just do 6 weeks here, right? It'll take your schedule and your schedule activities, and it will look out 6 weeks. And these activities that are throughout that plan need to be made ready. So the 6-week make ready, and so in the title it says make ready, the 6-week make ready look ahead, the purpose here is to make work ready and to make sure that we're planning as a collaborative team and that we're identifying roadblocks. Ask, does this activity have the manpower, materials, the tools, the equipment? Does this activity have the manpower, the materials, the tools, and equipment? And you go through each one, and if you find one that isn't ready, that doesn't have those things, then that becomes a roadblock that your team can use to focus on and mitigate and make sure that it's removed before you actually go to work and before it actually stops work. After that, we have what's called the weekly work plan, and I love this. So the weekly work plan, this is where you have a schedule filter that's basically just down to that 1 week, and you have committed activities by all the trades, and they commit to these activity durations exactly, coordinate to make sure they're not stacking, and say, yes, I can promise that that's going to be done. The idea here is to get 100% commitment on this so that everybody makes commitments based on that collaboration, that connection that we have in those meetings. Then, based on that, we have what's called the day plan. And that's where you huddle together and make a plan for the day so that you can execute the portions of the weekly work plan. And so day plans are all about execution. And then we have what's called percent planned complete or percent promises complete. So if on a single day there were 10 activities that were promised and some of those were not made for whatever reason, right? So let's say 2 of those weren't made, right? You still have 8 of them that were, so you divide the did get done into the total, and that would be 80%. And statistically, historically, projects that have a PPC score over 80% are either on or 15% under budget and time. Projects that are below 80% are 0 to 15% over budget and time. And so what you want to do is find out what is the root cause, why did we not meet these promises, and then make adjustments from there. So this is the overall system from a visual standpoint. But I do want to remind you, the superintendent and the foreman are looking at those milestones, doing those pull plans, doing that look ahead to make work ready and finding those roadblocks, committing to that weekly work plan, making sure the plan for the day can execute, and really tracking their success. And so this really is how the system works from a functional structural standpoint. And so real quick, let me interrupt and just say halfway through the video, please subscribe to this channel. We cover more about these systems in other videos. And the other thing, just like our trades commit to this weekly work plan, are you ready to commit to this channel? If so, please like and subscribe. So back to the content itself. People will not commit to the look ahead commitments and to the resources that are allocated for those activities. They will not commit to a weekly work plan, and they will not commit to executing on a day plan if they didn't weigh in and buy in. So a superintendent that listens and values the perspective of the trade partner, and specifically the last planner that we're working with, will really get that weigh-in, meaning the trades, the foreman will be able to say, hey, this is what I think, this is what I can commit to. They feel like an active participant and a member of the team. And if they can feel like an active participant and a member of the team, then they will buy into the process, then they will commit. And all of these schedules here that are done on the short interval basis, the look ahead, the weekly work plan, and the day plan will be more realistic, and you will have a better chance of executing the work that you have planned. So let me show you 2 more really cool things that I think you'll want to know. When do we look at these formats? Well, that's a good question. Every project at a minimum should have at least 2 meetings. And that's the weekly work planning meeting, or you can call it your trade partner meeting, and then the daily huddle. So you will do most of your master schedule coordination, the general contractor will do as needed. Your pull plans will be ad hoc. That means you will schedule them as needed, or you can pull them into this next meeting. You do your look aheads and your weekly work planning meetings in the trade partner weekly tactical, your trade partner meeting, or again, what the meeting is called, it's called a weekly work planning meeting. That's a 45-minute to 90-minute meeting where you coordinate with your last planners, with your foreman, and you make sure to create that weekly work plan with those last planners and do that make ready look ahead planning. Okay? Your daily huddle, which should be every day, and it's anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes and sometimes as long as 30 minutes, is where you gather your last planners and your foreman, and in that meeting, you craft a day plan and you coordinate how are you going to execute those activities as a team. So you'll have at least 2 meetings that are standard, and then you'll have one that is ad hoc. So every week, and then this one is every day. And I'll now give you the 4 steps that you can use to implement this tomorrow. Compliments of the Lean Builder blog, and the blog that's titled 4 Steps for Implementing Builder's Lean. The first step is to move to a daily huddle. Get those foremen, grab them, and on a daily basis, start talking about the plan for the day and how you're going to execute together and what problems you might have and how you're going to solve them as a team. Step 2, now that you have huddles and meetings, get all of this planning into visual formats like we've talked about in other videos. It needs to be out of your head and onto the wall. The only way the team can really weigh in and buy in is if they can see it. Step number 3, make roadblock removal the key focus of your interaction in all of the meetings. That means your weekly work planning meeting and your daily huddle. If you're like, hey, what do we talk about? How do we schedule these activities? What do we focus on? Focus on making work ready and identifying and removing roadblocks. That will be the bulk of your discussion as last planners, as a collaborative team. And then step number 4, implement this entire system as I have shown here. Host the meetings, have them in sequence, create your schedule formats, take it all the way down to the % plan complete, track your progress, and really learn about this system from the book The Lean Builder, from the Lean Builder blog, from resources like the Lean Construction Institute, and from other trainings that we provide in this YouTube channel and at Elevate Construction. I mean, the key here is if you can get everybody rowing in the same direction with these visuals, you can't help but win and to at least accomplish more work than you have been. Without this system, your success rate is anywhere between 15 and 45% of activities actually being completed on time. That is a historical fact. And if you start to use this system, you can be well above 80%. What would that mean to you in time? What would that mean to you in dollars? What would that mean to you for the health of the project? I think it means quite a bit. So I invite you to take this journey and learn about this system. And so my call to action today is please, in the description below, please check out the book, The Lean Builder, and the blog, and the other videos that we share about these topics. We know you will enjoy them. I'm confident that you will love and appreciate this system, even if you simply take your first step, which is engaging in those huddles. So I've had a great time with you. I hope you enjoy this. On we go.